Alright, so in this video, we're going to take a look at the wood decking along the walkways on the Pegasus Bridge and see how we can basically pre-paint wood on your kits. Alright, so these are the two sets of walkways. There's two parts each, and the key to this is that these are supposed to be wood. So you'll see, on the right here, that's this section here is where the wood's going to be. And so the best way to do this, instead of painting it, is we actually make wood planks. This take a little bit of work, but I think it's worth it. And we're going to start by marking the boards out. I figure 1/8 of an inch probably is about the right size. So we can use this to simply, on each side of the board, just put a little tick mark showing, where basically mark them all out, and then we'll just draw them. So let's take a look at that. All right, on this little ruler, I left my actual ruler at home, figures, but each of these are 1/4 inch, so I figured we just as easily march these up to the button up to the end, like that, so they're even. And then at every, basically halfway, just put a little mark. Okay. Just continue the way down both sides. And I'll basically, you don't need to see me do the whole thing, but we'll show you what it looks like when we get back. Alright, done describing the lines, or drawing the lines. As you can see, all the way along the boards, simple lines. Now, let's talk about the approaches you can take. Again, like I might have said before, you can go with regular, you make it look like it's been painted, you can make it look like it's stained, you can make it look like it's untreated and kind of left to the elements. So let's take a look at options. All right. Okay. Put your scrap MDF frames to good use when you get large pieces like this. Use them to test your colors. All right. So I worked with the railroad station kit from Sarissa, and I had to figure out what are the colors I wanted to use. So I painted some different colors that I might work together and use that to determine which ones I was going to go with. Then, in painting some of the brick buildings from Sarissa, I had to figure out, well, what color brick should I use? And so I painted some different orange colors to come up with that. Similarly, when it comes to staining, I used another piece of MDF and used it to put stains down. Now, a definition here, stain is going to be something that puts pigment into the MDF instead of kind of coating it. That's what I will call the stain versus a paint. Now, I don't have any examples of what Army painters' washes would look like, but I did use some Vallejo. The reason is, Army painter didn't really stand out much. I mean, the different washes I was able to use of theirs barely tinted the MDF. Vallejo, again, I testing it out, I was able to see that there is an example. And then these two are Army painters' speed paints. So let's take a quick look at what effect we're going to go for. Here's two examples. This is the hardened leather by Army Painters Speed Paint, and this is the dark wood. And you get two different colors, obviously, and both of them look like a finished wood, stained in some way. Now, this particular piece is of floorboards to the Cafe Gondry building, second floor, and those would have a dark hardwood floor, so that's why I used the dark wood on this. This Dunkirk little riverboat, I used the hard leather on, the hard leather on, because it had that almost a tan color to it, very a nice reddish brown. So it worked really well, matching some of the yachts that are out there. So that's what I went with it. And just went ahead and painted the entire surface. Here, I'm going to take this off and remove, so you can see. Now the key to either of these is to paint, because these are already prescribed or laser etched, is to paint with the direction of the board. And you'll see sometimes when you bring your brush to a stop, it will look like the end of a board. So it just adds some more of that illusion of good hardwood floor. I try not to do too much of the brush stopping on this one, but you could do the same thing. When you try to brush on it, try to stay not necessarily within the lines, but as close to them as possible, so that you're not going to end up with, like as I did here, you've got these nice hard lines right there between two boards, or in the middle of a board, where put the brush in one side heavily and not so heavily on the other. You end up with what may look sloppy. Now, if you pull it off right, and I don't think I did, this could actually look like just a different wood grain patterns. But it looks fine on this one. I have some of it going on here. It looks more like the wood grain patterns, but I didn't do so well with this one. Of course, this is going to be out in the open more than the inside of this building. So, all right, so that's what the Army Painter stain is going to look like. In all honesty, the Vallejo washes will do the same thing. It's just what color you're going to go for. So let's take a quick look at those again. All right, so looking at Vallejo's game washes, and I've got 3 of them that I tried, and let's put them in order here. So we've got the flesh wash here, their black wash, and then their sepia. All of them kind of look good, to be honest, but none of them are exactly what I was looking for in what I'm about to do. Now over here, there's the Army Painter Speed Paint Hard Leather, and Army Painter Speed Paint Dark Wood again. So the Vallejo stains are a lot closer to the, as far as the opacity of the speed paints. And of course, you can put more layers on to increase the intensity of the color. But one of the things I'm going to do for this, I think, is I'm going to take this direction. I didn't create an example on the board, but this is the enamel wash for wood by AK. AK Colors actually, or AK Interactive, it has a lot of neat little weathering products and such. And I got this for use on a couple other models, and I kind of like the way this looks. So let's take a look at the picture of the Pegasus bridge I'm working from to see what I'm trying to accomplish and why I'm going to go with this route. Alright, so it's more of, going for that gray, worn, weathered look. It probably was stained somewhat, so let's just take a quick look at what the color is going to look like. Now this is an enamel, so you'll need some sort of mineral spirits to clean up the brush, but it won't take long to. This will actually work very well. So it goes on pretty thick and dark, but as you work it in, it lightens up. Okay, so it still retains some of the brown and gray, which is what I'm really going for. So that's why we're doing what we're doing here. So I'm just going to hold on to that one. Okay, now let's go ahead and get started. Okay, all right. So to speed your work up a little bit, you probably want to use something like this, a little bit broader flat brush, because you can go multiple boards at a time. Now this is not etched in at all, and it's going to be extremely important that you get it so that the color is thin, so that these lines can peek through. Okay, because those are just ink. So we'll go ahead and get started then. We'll start with this one here. That's some dirt that's on there. I don't know where that stain came from. I don't remember doing anything to cause it. Alright, so, and just start working down like this. And again, just like most of these types of paints, you can, by doing this, you can see the color variation between boards. Now, pick up some more where you need some. Now when I get toward the end like this, where it's going to meet up with another piece, that's where I'm going to want to lay the two pieces together. What I'll do is I'll stand them up on this, so I don't get my table all dirty. Put it down like this, and now when I put this on, it'll be even across that entire joint. So whatever variation in intensity exists across those boards, it'll mesh real well. Okay, and then you can just kind of go on from there, finishing up. So I'll go ahead and finish it up, and we'll take a look at what it looks like in the end. Alright, so there they are. You can already just from this distance see the variations in the board colors. I still made a mess, even with attempting not to. But, so let's take a closer look. You can see the variation in the board just through natural brushing, but again, brushing along with this, what I call the grain of the wood, you get some nice variations that make it look like individual boards. Occasionally you'll make a mistake, like I did here, where it kind of abruptly ends, like here. If you go over it just a little bit more, brush before the brush is completely dry, it still has some on, you can just continue going over that to feather it out. I didn't catch these in time by the time my brush was cleaned off. This was the first one I did, and this was the second one I did. I rushed through it. You can see. Oops. But the nice thing by doing it this way, you can see the two boards are far from identical, the two sets. So that makes it stand out on the model better. So the key, whenever you're doing wood, is always paint in the direction of the board. That way any brush strokes that occur with paints will look like grain in the wood, or give you the illusion of grain. And anytime you're using stains like this, it will help you delineate the boards, and it reinforce the idea that these are individual boards. And you just these, every time there's a color break, it looks like or change in the shade intensity, it looks like either the edge of a board or part of a grain pattern, and it just really helps the piece stand out. So hope this was very helpful in you to get you painting up your wood structures a little more impressively. It doesn't take much at all. You just need to sit down and do it. So we'll go ahead and the next piece of this video series, we'll go ahead and finish up the bridge and do the final touch-up painting. Alright, see you guys next video. Bye.